Welcome to Pure Hustle Podcast. I'm Mike.
And this is Orlando, and we're here for another Monday minisode.
Yeah, Monday minis are our shorter episodes just on YouTube. If you want to listen to our long form podcast where we go into a lot of depth on a lot of things, make sure to check out our Wednesday episodes, either on YouTube or on, wherever you listen to your podcast. But today we're talking about something interesting, and I think it's important for us to talk about because a lot of people are kind of considering and worried about this potentially. And that is, what do we have to do to make sure we don't get banned, right? Especially on eBay, but really on any selling platform. Like, how can we ensure that our account stays in good standing so that we don't lose a huge source of income? I think for many resellers, even if you're part-time, eBay or Amazon or whatever platform you're utilizing to resell is going to be a significant portion of the income that you're making. And so to lose that would be devastating. So we want to talk about ways that we can ensure that our account stays in good standing and we don't get banned.
And I do want to say, I've been selling on Amazon and eBay for 10 plus years on both platforms. And never once have I been banned. Never once have I been suspended. Not to say that can't happen. But I think it's because I followed these things that we're going to talk about here. Right? I followed it pretty close. I mean, I have gotten, at risk at times, but it's been just because, on Amazon, I canceled one sale and I only had a handful of sales. And so it put me in the bad metrics, right? Nothing super serious. So let's talk about this. The very first one is always make sure to understand each platform's terms of service, right? What are they expecting of you? So that
can be really hard because a lot of times those terms of services are like pages and pages.
No,
and pages.
Agreed. But there's some easy ones. And on YouTube, a lot of people talk about this. So for example, Amazon, when you sell something new, they consider it to be something that you're giving as a gift, right? So usually when you give a gift, you're not giving a dinged up box. You're not giving something where the plastic wrap has been removed. It's pristine. That's what new means. Right. Amazon also warns you that they can cause you to sell something not as like new because you can't guarantee that warranty. Right. And so if they want you to list something as like new, then list it as like new. Look, don't go and try to list it as new and then get yourself in trouble. Right. Understand, that eBay, right, has certain words they don't want you to use. Now, that's not in their terms of service. Right. The Vero stuff is kind of nebulous, right? But if you know that eBay, for example, we're talking about this later, if eBay is very clear that all communication should be within the eBay app, keep it within the eBay app, right? Amazon's very big that if somebody buys something from you and you're selling merchant fulfilled, they want you to buy the label from Amazon, right? Don't try to go and buy, a label off of Amazon and then ship it and then have this argument with Amazon. No, that was their terms of service. That's what they said needed to be done.
Yeah, you're in their sandbox, so you got to play by their rules. And if you do that, you're going to be much better off. Smooth sailing if you're willing to play by the rules of the game. And speaking of playing by the rules of the game, one of the things is making sure to follow the rules even if others are breaking them. I'll give you some examples. So I've had a couple of semi-Vero type issues or warnings on certain things. And even things that were before I listed something, somebody would tell me hey, you can't list that. For example, CPAP machine, right? I bought a CPAP machine. I'm like, man, I'm going to make a killing on this thing. Then come to find out you cannot sell CPAP machines on eBay. Then I look up on sold eBay CPAP machines and there's a lot of sold ones. And I'm like, well, hey, it seems like other people have been able to sell it without getting caught. Or there was some Dr. Seuss books that I bought and, sold some and then all of a sudden get it pulled and can't sell it. You can't sell this book anymore. But I look up and hey, there's still other people selling it and it's getting through on an auction before eBay catches it. Maybe I should try again. But here's the problem. Once I know it's no longer okay, maybe I could try it again and I'll be lucky. But maybe it's like rolling a 10-sided die. It's like a 1 in 10 chance that I'll be caught and it'll be the wrong person or I've already been warned about something and that's it. I'm done. And it's a permanent strike on my account or something really bad happens. So it's really just not worth it. I still have a CPAP machine that I've never listed because, hey, I'm not allowed to. So where can I list it? I could list it on OfferUp. I could list it other places. I can't list it on eBay. So I've got to follow those rules. Even if I see other people breaking them, it's like, we all hate that. It's like, well, yeah, I was speeding, but so was the guy next to me. Doesn't matter. You were caught. If you broke the rules, even if everybody else is doing it. Like my dad always used to say, if your friends jumped off a bridge, would you do it too?
Oh my goodness. All right. The next one is do everything within platform. And especially I would say on eBay. eBay runs algorithms, and I don't know if they're looking for keywords. I don't know what it is, but every once in a while you'll get somebody that'll message you, like they'll send you a message and they're like, hey, would you take this much for it? Let me know. And in the word let me know, they'll put their phone number or they'll put their email address. So it'll be L4E1, like they try to get away with it. But one of the quickest ways to get suspended on eBay is to do stuff off platform, right? So example, I was super frustrated. I mentioned this. I had that wicker frog thing, right? And somebody in Thailand wanted to buy it. And for a reason, eBay was glitching and eBay would not provide the shipping information. So the closest I got to selling on another platform, I said, maybe you should Google and maybe you'll find something similar or the same one. Because I was selling it on Bonanza.
Right.
So I was hoping they would Google it and then they would see mine and buy it on Bonanza. But I was not going to say, hey, my item's actually in Bonanza. Just click on this link or go here, because instant suspension.
Yeah.
You don't want to play that game. eBay doesn't want to lose those profits, so they will suspend you.
Yeah, you gotta stay. See, here's the thing. You're playing the game in their sandbox. You got to play by their rules, and you got to stay in their sandbox. If you try and leave their sandbox, not gonna work. You gotta keep it in there. So yeah, that's a good point. I like that one. The next one is you always want to keep a paper trail. Now, if you're going to a garage sale, I mean, obviously you should be keeping some kind of records for things like taxes. But it's tough when you're buying, like, I bought 100 ties and I bought a bunch of shoes and I bought a bunch of VCRs, and to remember exactly what address, at what price, at what time, you might not have all of those details. But let's say you were at Target and you found an item that's on clearance and you bought 100 of them. Now you're listing these on eBay. Well, or even on Amazon, you're doing some RA. There is a chance that eBay or Amazon is going to look at that and say, like, wow, now all of a sudden you're selling. It seems like you've got connections for this item. We want to see receipts. That could happen.
Because they're the middlemen.
Yep.
Right? They're protecting themselves.
Yeah. And so you should be able to say, yeah, sure. Here, I bought this at Target, or I bought this at, wherever store, Walmart. I bought this at, and you got it. Now, the thing is, just like when you do, I don't know if you've ever used like TurboTax. When you use TurboTax to fill out your taxes, along the way, it'll show you your audit, like chances. And it's like, you're low. And like, if you do something weird, all of a sudden it's like, you're in the medium. It's like, oh man, like that's not good. And it's the same thing. Like for most sellers, you're going to be in the low, that you're going to be asked for paper, for evidence, for support for the items you have. You may never actually get asked for any of that information the entire time you resell.
You might not, ever.
But it's a good idea to have it, because you never know. You never know if it's going to be some weird thing comes up, especially when you're doing high volume or high priced items. If you're doing either of those, the chances you start to move from low to like medium low to medium to high. And depending on what's going on, because who knows, something can hit the news or anything can happen. And all of a sudden it's like, hey, like we're going to start researching this, whether it's hand sanitizer or something else. How are you getting these things?
There should be at least a bill of sale.
Right. Something.
Right. I mean, if it's a large enough purchase. Now, I don't do bill of sales for a lot of my big hauls. Like, remember the Hot Wheels haul I had? Because I already have video documentation, right? So if it ever came up or like, hey, how did you come across this, or did you pay it? Well, here's the video. Right now, that's a current thing. But even on GoDaddy bookkeeping that I use for eBay, I take pictures when I do my garage sales. I take a picture of all my items and how much I paid for them, right? And I document it. So the key thing is having some kind of documentation, right? And I will say the larger purchases, I would definitely go with, you need to have some kind of bill of sale, right? Because you just never know, right? And I know if you're just going to garage sales every weekend, I mean, chances are that eBay is going to ask for stuff. It's pretty slim. I mean, right? Because if you're just going to garage sales every weekend, could you have a 10 to 20,000 item store? Maybe, but it's not going to happen overnight.
No.
Right? That's going to take several years. And so eBay is going to see that, okay, it took some time. It's not that big of a deal. But I would say even for taxes, there has to be some kind of paper trail there to back you up.
Yeah,
you know?
but like, let's say you found a deal for 10 PS5s on OfferUp for like half the price of normal. You're probably going to want this documented, right? Like certain things.
OfferUp would be documented, right?
And that's what I mean. Like you'd want some kind of documentation that, hey, this is who I got it from. This is how much I paid, because you never know. And you want to be able to show just in case. And it's one of those things. It will probably never happen, but you want to have the documentation just in case.
Agreed. Now, the last one is here. Keep the customer first. I know that sounds tough for a lot of sellers to say, but
the customer is always right.
But they are. That's how successful businesses run, right? Because you need the customers. Without the customers, you don't have a business, right? And so, getting a lot of negative feedback on eBay or on Amazon or Mercari, or having cases opened against you, or cases closed on eBay, which is the worst thing you can do. Cases closed without seller resolution. All those instances where you're not keeping the customer first will end your time on those platforms, right? To me, it's the easiest one, right? You should always, for example, recently, what was it? There was something. Oh, I sold a pair of Mephisto sandals and I made good money on it. I paid $5. They sold for $70. And then the buyer contacted me and said, hey, by the way, do you know that this was glued in 2 sections? I didn't know. And I'm like, I have no idea. I'm so sorry. I wasn't the original owner. And they left me a negative feedback like right away. The way I resolved it, and I told them I wasn't the original owner. I'm sorry about that. I'll give you a full refund, blah, blah. So I lost $80, right? If you count maybe more, maybe like 90 if you count, the sourcing, the how much money profit I lost, all that. Okay. But it was worth it to me, right? Because it allowed me to keep that 100% feedback, right? And it allows me to keep selling on eBay. But if I over and over again, I kept saying like, nope, product was fine the way I sent it, and you get like 10 of those, that could be the end of you on eBay. So you got to be careful. So yeah, keeping customers first is important. Yeah. All right. So hopefully, Mike, you never get banned. Hopefully I never get banned or suspended.
Don't get banned. So
way to do that. Just to recap real quick. Always make sure to understand the platform's terms of service. Don't break the rules just because others have. Do everything within the platform. Always have a paper trail. And make sure that you are customer centric. And with that being said, make sure to be real,
be relevant,
and be reselling late.
Peace.